Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken, and thank you for tuning in to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. You can give us a call tonight at 412-575-2600. The number's right there on the bottom of your screen. And Tim Benz is my co-host for tonight's show, and we're going to be talking about a few things. One of the biggest things that I want to start with is Antonio Brown, and it seems like the law has finally caught up to him. Well, it's caught up to him a bunch of times, but it seems that he's going to get arrested here now at some point. There's reports out of Hollywood, California, that the police have issued an arrest warrant. You heard it on our news just moments ago. And, the guy needs help. I think he needs help, and I think a lot of people are out there trying to get him help, but he just refuses it right now.
Right, which is part of the reason I am not in the mood to throw a pity party for him at this point. He's had a lot of people for a long time telling him to get help, and he just didn't listen. Be that Drew Rosenhaus, current former teammates, regardless of what team he was on, be it the league itself. I would hope people around him, but if you insulate yourself with people that don't give you advice that you don't want to hear, then you're just constantly told everything is okay, and obviously it is not. And I know a lot of people are trying to draw correlations to the whole Aaron Hernandez situation because of the documentary that just came out. People are drawing parallels to the behavior, and I don't think it's going to get ever to that stage, but I mean, he does strike me as someone who can't be trusted, that someone who obviously is making horrible decisions, worse and worse all the time, and it's not killing 3 people, but throwing rocks at people.
Yeah.
And doing things like you're doing to your the mother of your kids, like he was shouting, getting into incidents with police. Who knows where this can go?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm not surprised.
I'm worried about it. Like this
are
is
you
part
surprised
of the reason,
at all?
No, I'm not.
Neither am I.
This is part of the reason why, when there were a bunch of Steelers fans who were saying that the Steelers had to bring back Antonio Brown, why they could not. Because they were at least smart enough to see that this was a potential workplace disaster waiting to happen. Like, really bad things could have happened there with this guy. He's a ticking time bomb. And you cannot bring that back into your workplace and your place of business. And when it got to the degree that it did, I think they saw him leaving planet Earth a lot quicker than other people wanted to admit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, especially what we've seen all year with him. One tweet after another that did not make sense. And then you see these posting these videos that don't make sense, and it just seems like he's gone off the deep end. And I don't know if it's because he doesn't have football anymore or if he's lost potentially $50 million.
But he did have football.
He did, yeah.
He did have football when he was doing some of that dumb stuff with the Patriots and a lot of the dumb stuff with the Raiders, too. He didn't think he was going to be out of football when he's posting midnight rants on the treadmill with the blonde mustache. Like, those
Mr.
are
Big Chest.
Right. Those are the signs of his erosion when it comes to an attachment to reality.
Do you buy the whole CTE thing?
I think there could be something to it. Sure, just like there was something to it with Aaron Hernandez. Just like there was something likely to the repression that he felt for allegedly being a closeted homosexual. You know, just like the circumstances of the Patriots aiding and abetting his behavior off the field, and how others at the University of Florida and his upbringing, the whole nature versus nurture thing of that behavior that he had as a kid when it came to right and wrong. All those things play into it. But at some point or another, let's keep in mind that Aaron Hernandez, growing up, wasn't a great guy. And Antonio Brown was a great football player, a fantastic football player that wound up at Central Michigan because schools didn't want him. And then he wound up as a 6th-round pick because NFL teams didn't want him. Like, all that happened long before the Vontaze Burfict hit that people want to now attach to point zero of this whole situation. I think, you know, his attitude and who he was as a person was much more of an issue long before this.
Well, I noticed the change in Antonio Brown before that hit. I mean, we've been in that locker room so many times, and I've covered this team for the last, 15, 16 years. And I covered him when he was a rookie, and he seemed like a good guy. And I enjoyed covering him up until he got that first contract.
Well, Ryan Clark said that's when it changed.
Then you could change. Then you noticed the change.
Yeah, that was long before Vontaze Burfict.
Yeah. So, all right, if you want to talk about Antonio Brown, give us a call, 412-575-2600. I mean, I'm done really talking about him, but if you want to call and ask us any question, you can give us a call, 412-525.
Hard sell there, Richie.
2600. Also, Pitt basketball. Yeah, I don't want to talk about them anymore. But Pitt basketball's up 60-51, coming back from a 12-point deficit right now, winning with about 7 minutes to go. Duquesne lost
how about
a tough
the swing
one
in
tonight.
that game? How about
47-17, Duquesne lost the second half by. And they ended up losing that game 77-55. So we'll talk about that. And also a local product signs with the Phillies. I want to get some Pirates talk and some Steelers talk. That's all coming up next, so stay right there.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.